Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is January 9th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. We've got the fire temperature overlaid. You can see the Palisades fire there. There's the Los Angeles Metro. There's the Eaton fire up against some of the higher terrain, and we did have some other fires out there yesterday. So you guys know there's been some widespread devastation across Southern California. And the bad news is that we are going to keep some of these offshore winds ongoing on in through next week. We're going to have some low relative humidities and some fire danger. The good news is we're not looking at any major windstorm. I kind of hesitate to say that a bit because we are going to have some strong Santa Ana winds at times, but these are the more favored locations for the Santa Ana winds in much more typical areas. You're not going to get the huge mountain wave activity here down into some of the Los Angeles Metro and Burbank and things like that. But again, the Santa Ana winds will be blowing through next week. We'll take a detailed look at that. Taking a look at the entire state, maybe a little bit of fog across some of the San Joaquin Valley drifting around out there, maybe Northern California. But other than that, nary a cloud to speak of across Southern California. The marine layer largely absent there or completely absent. And again, you can see the smoke there drifting down off towards the south and then off over the Pacific Ocean from the current ongoing fires. If you want a nice affordable home weather station, you get a lot of questions about which one I recommend, and for the price, this is the one to get. It's about $330. You get 10% off if you click on my link down below. Exceptional smartphone app. You get to watch your weather station update every few minutes, and it can give you notifications and whatnot. And we've got these all over the place here. If I update that, you'll see it, and I'll scroll back out and go down towards California here. You can see everybody else with one out here. You can name the station whatever you want and even keep it private if you like. Now, another thing I like about the station is that, for example, out towards Malibu here on this station I clicked, you can see it does show you your current warnings. Your wind advisory is still up, the air quality alert, red flag warning, and if you click on that, it gives you all kinds of detailed information. So again, highly recommend that station. Now, this system is getting out of here, and we're going more to a typical Santa Ana wind event, but what a storm it was. We had winds all the way through the column of the atmosphere that were mixing down into lower elevations, and all the winds were aligned out of the northeast. That's why this wind event was so dang strong across Southern California. We had some winds up over 100 miles per hour for some of the higher terrain, and again, places into the lower elevations and the populated metro areas were getting very strong gusts as well. So that atmospheric hairdryer coming to an end there, but again, we still have the Santa Ana winds, which are still driving this potential for rapid fire spread and extreme fire behavior through 6 p.m. on Friday, according to Los Angeles National Weather Service. Gust of 55, locally higher in some of the mountains and foothills. You guys know the drill. Still that extreme fire danger out there, and we got the high wind warnings in effect still, and you can see San Diego National Weather Service, mainly again the higher terrain and favored Santa Ana wind locations with some of these strong gusts. Now, Northern California is still dealing with some moderate sneaker wave risk as we go through the noon on Friday here. This was issued this morning by National Weather Service Eureka. Some strong winds still across a lot of the desert areas. These are going to be crosswinds for the 15, 40, Interstate 8, Las Vegas gusting towards 40 miles per hour. Again, out of the north, kind of breezy there for Death Valley as well. Some blowing dust out there, so heads up for that. Look at Needles and Laughlin gusting 50, 60 miles per hour. You see Yucca Valley gusting up towards 50 miles per hour as well. Now, taking a look at where we are as we go through this morning, and you can still see we have the offshore component going northeast across the Sierra Nevada. Some north winds coming down the Sacramento Valley, strong north winds across desert areas ongoing. And we really start to ramp up these winds again tonight. And as we go through the overnight hours into Friday morning, the Santa Anas are definitely going to be howling. So again, that extreme fire threat will go on in through the day on Friday. Then we start to wane things as we go through Friday afternoon, even get a little bit of switch in some of this direction. But I got to caution you, as we go through the weekend again, you can kind of see things turn northerly across the desert areas, northeast again across the Sierra Nevada, and then the Santa Ana winds return for a little bit here as we go through this weekend, and then probably another round and another set of winds coming as we go through next week. Now, taking a look at the upper levels of the atmosphere, this is 500 millibars, or about 18,000 feet up. There's a system exiting now that brought in the perfect conditions for some very strong winds across Southern California. That one getting out of there, but we do have additional inside sliders here. Not a lot of precipitation. It doesn't look like for California coming up. As you see, again, these inside sliders, these troughs just continue to carve out across the southwest USA. And then kind of on an interesting note, one of these, this low pressure system here does get cut off and it spins off the coastline. And some of the models are showing this producing a bit of precipitation. We'll be watching this closely as we head off in towards next week. I'll show you more on that here in a moment. In fact, starting right now, on the 06Z, you'll notice the high pressure that's going to be with us over the Great Basin. I also want to mention this as we go through the day tomorrow. Frontal system going through the Pacific Northwest is going to clip northern portions of California. There is going to be some snow for Nevada, Utah, Colorado. But again, inside sliders tend to be dry, and that will be no exception this round. But you can also see that cutoff low here does start to produce some precipitation out over the Pacific Ocean. There's always a chance that some of this could get drawn back northward. So let's cross our fingers for that. The GFS was hinting at that a little bit as we go through next week. Again, we'll watch that closely. And relative humidity, look at Southern California, Las Vegas, Western Arizona. You can see the diurnal cycle. But even in the nighttime hours, things are still relatively dry, and you can actually see the drier air being blown back out across the Pacific Ocean as we scroll on in through this weekend. And yeah, Santa Ana winds are going to continue to be with us as we have low relative humidities and some high fire danger. Now, looking at the European, we're going to go through tonight into tomorrow morning. Santa Ana winds, we get a little bit of a relaxation there. Then they pop back up again here as we go through the weekend on in through Sunday morning. We relax one more time, and then another potentially moderate, strong Santa Ana wind event looms off in towards Monday night into Tuesday again. So we'll be watching that one closely as well. And maybe that cutoff low will get a little bit closer and do something as far as precipitation is concerned. If we take a look at the artificial intelligence run here, there's the frontal system on Friday just skirting Northern California. Cutoff low out here, not producing much precipitation. It brings a little back into Arizona, it looks like, but again, not much to speak of. And we kind of get an Arctic front sagging south as we go through the extended forecast. Wants to kick off a bit of precipitation, but again, this is of the inside slider variety, fairly dry. And yeah, not much precipitation to speak of until maybe 300 hours out. A couple systems start to roll through Northern California, but yeah, we'll have to just wait and see at what that brings in the future. 15-day precipitation anomaly. Clearly, the west coast of North America targeted for below normal precipitation amounts, and quickly showing the accumulated 10-meter max wind gusts. Again, more favorable Santa Ana wind areas, but look at across the higher terrain, some very strong winds, some of the gaps and whatnot as well. And off to the west of Malibu, some winds gusting up over 50 miles per hour. So again, we're going to be dealing with this high fire danger as we go through this upcoming weekend. Also pointing this out, pretty chilly air mass is set up. So you can see this is for Friday morning. You can see there's some 20s out there across some of the desert areas, down into the 40s for a lot of Southern California, 30s for the San Joaquin, even the Sacramento Valley. We go on in through Saturday morning's lows, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a lot of 30s in there for some of the valley areas over the next week or so. So some chilly overnight lows will be had. And this is for tomorrow, Friday, January 10th. You can see Southern California, kind of the place to be here. You know, it's comfortable temperatures out there, but again, it is very dry and it comes at a price where we have the high fire danger. Death Valley, you can see it right there. The terrain feature, very low elevation. There's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you can see the highs in the 50s for the Sacramento Valley and the San Joaquin Valley as we go on into the upcoming week as well, and a bit warmer across Southern California and the desert areas. Now, 6 to 10 day below normal here for some of the interior portions, but the big story here is the below normal precipitation. 8 to 14 day broad brush below normal across really the entire lower 48. But again, that below normal signal continues to dog us here across the west coast. And again, some offshore wind potential as we go on in through the mid and later portion of January. But yeah, fire's still ongoing out there. Hopefully everybody is safe. I know a lot of people lost a lot of homes and there's a lot of damage out there. And like I heard, it's probably going to be the most expensive fire event possibly ever as far as damages are concerned. So yeah, wish I had better news on that front, but again, we're going to keep this dry weather around and some offshore winds going, so the fire threat is going to continue. It's going to make fighting what fires are ongoing even that much more difficult. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, getting things settled out there across Southern California. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.